Hello and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast is number 1420. The topic is nutrition. The title is What is Eating Clean? And I'm joined by my wife Meredith today.
Hi.
Yay!
I'm back.
Yes. Back with a vengeance.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were talking recently about what would be some fun podcasts to share together.
Yeah.
And the idea of clean eating came up.
Yeah.
Yes. So what is clean eating to you?
Well, this kicked off because Rob, I will say I have the best husband.
Yeah. What, you want to say it louder real quick?
I
Admittedly
have
didn't
the
hear you.
best-
Let me move the microphone closer.
I have the best husband.
Yeah.
So we're the same person. So I won't eat or cook for myself, and he won't eat or cook for myself, but we'll do it for each other.
Yes.
So he brings me breakfast, and the other day it was 2 bagels with butter and my sugar-free jelly I like and scrambled eggs. And he goes, yeah, it's a nice clean breakfast. And dumbfounded, I just stared at him. And he just kind of looked at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, but clean? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, this is like dirty. This is like dirty breakfast.
Yes.
This is not clean. And then I said, that's a good topic for a podcast because every woman in the world more than likely thinks like I do or thought like I do.
Like carbs is like you're gonna eat bagels and you're just absolutely gonna get fat. You're gonna gain 30 pounds in one day. None of your clothes will fit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bagel. I mean, I didn't have a bagel since my dance competition days when I was like 11.
That is nuts.
And then I had them again when we were married.
Yes. And
27 years later.
I remember you telling me that because you're like, I haven't had a bagel in forever, and I'm like,
Well, was forever.
I have to give you a bagel now. Like this is cannot be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, celiac gets in the way, and we did find like the best gluten-free bagels. What is it, Canyon House? Canyon House?
Canyon something. Canyon gluten-free bagels. Yeah. It'll be the only company named Canyon.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Yeah, I think if you're celiac and you're not like on trendy, gluten-free, or even if you are, Canyon House, that's good ones. But anyway.
Yes.
So yeah, you did ask me what is clean eating, but I did want to preface that was like
well, it's a great
what started.
backstory, absolutely.
So now that I know how you define clean eating, but versus what would I have thought?
Yeah.
So in the moment you did ask, you were like, well, what's clean? And I said, to me, the way we've been brainwashed is it's clean if the food is the ingredient.
There you go.
Right?
Yes.
Like an apple, chicken, an avocado. Like
eat a carrot stick right out of the ground.
It's clean, which is also dirty. But if it's like a single ingredient, right? Like the Whole Foods.
Yes.
Right? So there's people that say it's clean because it's from Whole Foods, or it's clean because it's organic. Yeah. It's clean because it's natural. I'm like, well, guess what? Some chemicals are natural.
That's
Boom.
True. Ooh, yeah, and you have a chemistry major.
Oh, I can't even.
So you
don't get me started.
You have some.
I can't.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a different podcast.
Yes.
So yeah, clean would be okay. Old diet prep days, it was like hard-boiled eggs, dry tuna out of a packet.
Yeah, like oats.
Rice. I would get yelled at for a pack of minute rice that had 1 gram of fat in it.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Like, you got 1 gram of fat, and they're like, are you even dedicated?
Yeah, are you dedicated?
I'm like,
I mean, what?
Holy eating disorder.
Oh, my God. Yes, I'm dedicated.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, packing every little, meal in Ziploc bags and weighing it all out and throwing it in my work bag.
Like, did
traipsing
you lick
all
your
over
containers clean?
I turned the bag inside out and licked the almond butter out of the Ziploc bag.
Yeah. If it's a paper plate, you have to eat the plate.
Yeah, right. Also clean.
Yes.
But in my mind, clean is like it's a single ingredient. It's, ideal if it's organic. It's that, then people think it's clean if it's organic and vegan or vegetarian or, plucked out of the ground on Wednesdays. I mean, there's all these weird, like, nuances. But, yeah, clean to me, if I were to say outside of the breakfast you gave me, clean would be, like, no sugar added, like, Faye zero Greek yogurt with, like, organic berries.
Yeah.
And then, like, organic lettuce and, like, a little piece of chicken and some, like, organic dressing. Like, all of that is, like, the clean type.
Well, it's like I always find it interesting where, like, somebody says they'll eat clean, and I get, like, every version of anything you could ever think somebody thinks is healthy. Go ahead. Say what you want.
Yeah, like, for example,
yes,
during prep of the first show, where I checked in with my coach at the time, and it was like, okay, you need a cheat meal. So I ate, like, 6 pieces of sushi. Right. And even he was like, no, like a cheat meal. Like, you need to feel dirty after you eat it. Like, you need to feel like you're being really bad. You're going to feel dirty, ask for a Hail Mary kind of food.
That's funny.
So I went to Bad Daddy's, and I got, like, the biggest burger I could find.
Fantastic.
With, like, you know, it was either fries or the chips with, like, the pimento dip. And then I walked across the street and got DCBY and loaded that up.
Cardio between your meals.
Yeah. But it was like, maybe there was yogurt surrounded in the peanut butter cups and my rainbow sprinkles.
Yeah.
But I remember finishing that dinner, like that meal, and then an hour later, I was like, I'm starving still. Like, I was so hungry. Yeah. But that was like, just go be dirty. And so, like, from that mindset of, like, a burger, just like meat and a patty with cheese on it is dirty.
Yes.
And that's not.
Well, it's interesting, like, that even brings up a whole point of, like, I've helped people for competitions, like, help get pro cards and stuff, and did a lot of diets. And in the earlier days of helping people compete, that was the kind of the thing that you learned that's what you do is you restrict people to the point where they almost die, and then you give them these
and then make
crazy
them do the
large
stair mill.
meals. Yeah.
For hours.
And it's like now, like the last couple people I've helped do shows, and like the last couple that have gotten break pro cards, you don't need to do it to that extreme.
No.
So, like, I've had people, they've never done more than 20 minutes in a row of cardio.
I believe it now.
Yes. And we've just eaten consistent and right on point, matching our energy needs. And there's never, like, the days where I have them bump their calories up, it might be like, hey, I want you to add 300 calories today. So we just eat more of what they're already eating.
Right.
Yeah, we don't do, like, the big gorging things anymore. And that's, I think it's much healthier mentally, let alone physically, because it kind of takes away from that, eating disorder type
I mean,
behavior.
like, I don't know. They're striving to get into the gym once a week right now, which is realistic. Squat once a week.
Yeah.
Do the Bowflex at home.
Yeah, and you're still hitting
one to 3 times a week. 3 on a very good week. But it's like bagel and eggs. Blows my mind that I can eat that still. And it's been like a year and a half breakfast.
Yeah.
Still blows my mind. Then I was like pasta with sauce and locatelli cheese and a salad with salad dressing. And then dinner could be just about anything.
Yeah, you'd have rice and lean beef.
Rice and lean beef if I was in the mood for it. Or like mac and cheese with, you know,
mac and cheese.
Beef and chicken. So whatever.
Banana peanut butter sandwiches?
Yeah, my peanut butter banana. So just, like, I could even choose what I wanted, but I'm a creature of habit. If I like a food, I like a food, and then I eat it until I never want to see it again the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But I've lost a lot of fat.
Yes.
Lost a lot of fat eating this way. So I don't know how you do it.
It's magic.
Because to me, still in my brain, it feels dirty. Like, I feel like I'm being bad.
And it is interesting. Like, a lot of the people I talk to, they consider carbs to be like one of the most universally accepted myths is that carbs are bad. But I always find that funny because the same person will also have like a fruit smoothie for breakfast.
Dude, I can't.
And I'm like, fruit is carbs. Like, what are you talking about?
Don't even.
Yeah, and they're like, well, I would never have candy because candy has sugar in it. I'm like,
oh my God.
What the hell do you think? Yeah. But I do understand.
They're just a bunch of monomers. It's all sugar.
You're the best. So it is interesting to hear that most people villainize carbohydrates, and you've been able to lose body fat, and you're eating a ton of carbs. You eat carbs. Yeah, you can swear. I swear all the time. Okay. So, but you've been eating carbs at pretty much every single meal, and you're still losing body fat.
Yeah.
Yes. So when we were talking about like what do we consider clean, to me, clean eating is. I wouldn't have recognized how different it was until you and I talked. But it's more so this meal matches our needs at the moment, and to me that means it's clean.
But you described it. You said it differently in the moment. You said it was like if you're yes, if your body can burn it, or the way it digests.
So in a sense, like if I'm eating before a workout, I would want to have sugars. If I'm really close to workout, say like 30 minutes or less in front of the workout, I want to have sugars. So eating sugar isn't bad. But if I'm 9 o'clock at night and I want to eat a bunch of sugar, it's not really the best choice, you know? So there might be a better choice at that time. Yeah, so the timing compared to what you need when you need it. So for example, if I'm about to work out, maybe I drink, a 24-ounce Gatorade, and that's perfect. But I know, like, some people, they'll eat, like, a whole bowl of cereal. Yeah. Like, which would mean, a whole box of cereal. Sounds amazing. So
also
a whole
amazing.
box of cereal. So 2 or 3 bowls, they'll have milk with it.
Guilty.
And it's probably, like, 2,000 calories. Yeah. And then they go into the gym, and they'll work up to a couple heavy singles of squats, BS with friends, and go home. And I'm like, you just got fat. You overate. You way overate what you needed. Yeah. So that's not a clean meal. So even though the food choices would have been
if they had a single bowl of cereal with milk,
that's perfect.
That's clean.
So it's whether the meal fit what you needed.
That's clean.
Yes. To me, that's clean because it's also factors in
because it burns before it gets added to fat.
In a sense, pretty much, yes. So you're not going to be worse off from that meal.
A little tablespoonful of cookie dough can technically be clean.
Yeah. You could eat cookie dough right before your workout if you want.
Or like you get off the Bowflex and you wait a little bit and you eat a handful of cookie dough.
Well, this is the fun stuff that I get to do with you. Is like if we burn glycogen, I know that your body will replenish glycogen before it stores as fat.
Yes.
So I can basically. So this is the fun. Like we'll be at the end of the day, and you're asking me like, "Is ice cream okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine." And the reason why it's fine is because I know your glycogen stores are low.
Yeah.
So your body's going to store the ice cream as glycogen before it stores as fat.
Yeah.
But this is the benefit of me being around you all day is I know where your body's at throughout the day.
Yeah.
So it is funny how eating ice cream at night can be totally fine in certain situations.
Yeah,
in other
there's
situations
days where he's
not.
like, you could eat 2 of those, 2 and a half of those. And I was like, that sounds like I want to throw up. But it's cool to know.
Yeah.
But it also probably means I hadn't taken care of myself that day.
Yeah, like we either missed a meal or we ate some food, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Like chicken salad for lunch, and it's like, well, that might be 300 calories. You needed 800. So we're like 500.
Still blows my mind.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah, it's been working. So, but that to me is clean eating. Is am I choosing what I need in this moment, and that also factors in like mental discipline, mental control.
So how does if someone's listening to the podcast, then they're like, oh snap, I thought that way too. Just an organic Oreo is clean.
Yeah.
A packet,
when you eat the Oreo.
Right.
Yeah.
So how would someone know if what they're eating is clean?
Yes. So didn't even prompt you for that, but that was an amazing transition. So yes, there are 2 podcasts.
It's the teacher in me.
Yeah, you already know stuff. It's like in your nature.
I don't know. I want to know. Well, I mean, now I know.
Yes. So the more like the transition.
I know they know.
Yeah. Transition of topics. So the 2 podcasts that I think would be very helpful given this topic is podcast 1272. It's a nutrition podcast titled "What Matters Less Than You Think." And what it actually explains is the what of what you eat matters less than what you think. It's actually calories and protein and timing, not so much whether you're eating brown rice versus white rice.
Oh, God.
Yes. Yeah. Now, if you have trouble finding the old podcasts, you can go to, like if you just Google Podbean Brutal Iron Gym, you can go to our Podbean homepage, and on the right side of the screen in the middle, there's a search function, and you can just type in any word or the number of the podcast, and it'll show up. So that's a good one. So podcast 1272, again, it's a nutrition podcast titled What Matters Less Than You Think. And then podcast 1232 is a nutrition podcast titled Start Here. So that one actually literally tells you the steps to take of what matters most in your food. So you got to figure out calories. Then that would tell you how many calories you need per meal. So for example, if we had a 300 calorie salad, but I knew that we needed 800, then I know I have 500 calories to make up for later in the day without worrying it being stored as body fat.
Yeah.
You know, within reason, and there's some things around that. But podcast 1232 would tell you what matters most and what you need to focus on most.
Right.
So if brown rice versus white rice doesn't matter, what does matter?
Right.
And that's what podcast 1232 will tell you.
Awesome.
Yes. So I think that's a pretty cool perspective, is, you know, eating clean. And we can kind of reword that is, I want to eat the right way for my goals. Well, then listen to podcast 1272 and podcast 1232, and it'll tell you, and essentially you'll start to learn, like, proper eating is eating to match my needs at the time of the meal.
Right. And, like, debunk the, like, 300 clean eating, like, cookbooks that are out there, and, like, clean foods. And
yeah, like, what are they defining as clean? Like, so many
kale.
people. Yeah, yeah, and like you said, most people are going to consider it to be natural and not carbs.
Yes.
So, but yet they'll still eat fruit and vegetables that have carbs.
Yes.
And it's like, okay. So, yes. So, hopefully all that was helpful. So, thank you for listening. Anything you want to add to that? I think we got the highlights.
I think, again, you know, try it and trust the process. I know it works. I now know I'm wrapping my head around what's clean, what's not, and it's all about what my body can handle, plus what I like eating. And it is an adjustment mentally to understand, like, okay, this food can still be clean. It doesn't have to look like what I've been brainwashed to believe.
Absolutely, yes.
And just, I really want to stress that, because so much about disordered eating is just, like, hyper-focused on, for sure, disordered eating can have a clean focus.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
You know?
Yeah, people will severely undereat their needs, but say it's all natural.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but you're going to all naturally die, so you do need to eat some
all
food.
All naturally pass out.
Yeah, you do need some food. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. Is it can be an adjustment, but just trust the process. And I mean, I'm hoping somebody out there is like, oh my God, I'm gonna eat a bagel tomorrow.
Yeah, like I can eat bagels and pasta and lose body fat, feel amazing, hit new PRs, which you've been doing in the gym. So
another podcast.
Yeah, so everything you want, you can eat
it's
carbs.
at your fingertips.
Yeah, it's at your ears. If you listen to those two podcasts, it's at your earlobes. There you go. Okay, that's good. Well, thank you for listening. If you do like the podcast, please consider sharing it. The more people we share it with, the more people the podcast can help. Sharing on social media does reach the most amount of people, but even if you just share in a conversation with a friend, that's pretty awesome as well. Thank you to the patrons of the podcast, people who financially support the podcast. The podcast is well over $1,000 a year for hosting costs. I give an hour to it every day. We want to keep it for free, so I really appreciate the donations. If you do want to donate, you can do so at our website, www.brutalirongym.com. We have an option for a one-time donation, monthly donation, yearly donation. Anything you can give is greatly appreciated. Also, if you like the information we share in our podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube under the name Brutal Iron Gym. If you have any questions, feedback, suggestions, anything you want to know, let us know at our email, brutalirongym@gmail.com. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yes. And then, as always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.